Anyone
can be underrated. As fuck.
You are now tuning into the latest episode of the Underrated as Fuck podcast.
Hosted by the one and only Bliss.
And you already know, Mighty Zay.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Underrated AF podcast.
Let's go.
This is episode 31. We officially hit the 30s of episodes. We won't get past like 50 ever, I don't think, because
That would have to be
every
week.
year
52.
Oh, well, we'd have to do it every day, well, every weekend, right? But well, it won't get past 52 ever because every season we're like restarting back to one.
Right.
So is that cool or no?
52 is a good number.
52.
You know how I feel about it.
Yeah. So real quick before we get down to the music, give me just your kind of like concluding thoughts on Adesanya's fight last night.
He just looked really out of shape. Like that's the thing.
Out of shape?
Yeah, he looked out of shape. Like the way that he was moving, the way that he was striking, he was gassed. Like he was gassed.
It did seem like he was gassed out a little bit.
He was gassed by the third, and then when the fourth came, it was just I don't know. But I mean, he's been out of fighting. You know what I mean? He hasn't been like mentally there for a minute now. But that, whatever. You know what I mean? Drickus won, whatever. You know, you got to give props to whoever wins. However, yeah, he beat him by submission. So
I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
I don't really care for Jerkis or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed last night.
Yeah, I mean, I did want to see Adesanya do some things, but if he were to win the belt again, like, would he run on another tangent? Or, you know
would
what I
he
mean?
be able to like defend it?
Right.
Is that what you mean?
Would
like,
he go on a whole another little spree of kind of just
dog
what he's
spree?
gotta do? Yeah.
Or would he just get his ass beat and then lose it right away, right?
I don't know. His last fight, even with Sean Strickland, he didn't even show that dog. And then so this fight, he kind of like...
So is he trying to live up to like expectations that he just can't right now, or what? Because I feel like he's like a hype train. Like I like going and watching him. It's like Adesanya, Izzy, Stylebender. Like it's just cool.
I just think that he's got out of that mode. Like I think that...
Like he's not a dog anymore? Or
yeah,
what?
like it's like once you lose it, it's... I mean, it's there, but it ain't there. Like you can stab somebody with
he's
a
like
pencil.
trying to find the dog. Like
He's back in the back. Like,
well, hey, maybe him losing a bunch of times on these big stages will be like, I don't know, maybe that'll be
it's a big
him
mental
finding
thing.
his dog a little bit.
It's a big mental thing.
Or maybe he has to get over that hurdle of like, he's like, can I ever be as great as I once was, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's a big wall blocking his road to continue down the road. It's like this wall of like, can I really be the best in the world again? Like, I don't know. It just seems like if I was in his position, just seeing what I've been seeing, that might weigh like heavy on me.
So what did you think about like while watching the fight? Like what's something that kind of like was prevalent to you?
To be honest, I think if it went to decision, I think Adesanya might have won that fight. So that's
I think Adesanya won the first 2 rounds.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I was so
sure.
disappointed, because it ended with 2 or 3 punches to the face. Adesanya ends up kind of going
like 3
down.
or 4. He popped
and
him.
then Dracus jumps on his back. Like, I don't know. It was just like, it seemed like where that fight was at the moment, it was leaning towards Adesanya, and then out of nowhere, it just went to shit.
You feel like that?
Yeah. I think Adesanya was doing good.
I think he was doing good. He wasn't doing great, but I think Drickus was doing a good job at keeping him at bay. Mm-hmm. So he couldn't just flurry how he wanted to.
Flipping it to Drickus real quick, I don't feel like Drickus was fighting like a championship fighter. I don't know. I don't like it.
That's how he fought whenever he fought Strickland. Like,
well, stop letting this fool get lucky, because he doesn't look good when he fights.
Well, we're gonna see that next fight, because Strickland is gonna fight Drickus next. So.
Oh, okay. Well, could these like great, like I don't know what it is. I don't like Drickus that much. That's just my opinion. But I need Adesanya. I need Alex Pereira. I need Strickland. I need somebody to come and take this belt from this cat.
Did you see what Alex posted?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Yeah, it was like, did you?
Yeah, he said he was watching like the fight with Drickus at the end with the belt or whatever, and then he said,
I'm dropping back down.
Drop it down to 185 one more time.
I was like, hard. I was like, yo, if Alex does that, yo, crazy.
So if he drops down and gets that belt and then ends up going back up in weight, then who does he vacate that belt?
No.
You know what I mean? So how would the fighters that are still in that weight class fight for that belt then?
Then you have to fight for an interim championship.
So then he'll just be the undisputed Alex Pereira, or
he's gonna get that heavyweight. He's gonna get that heavyweight belt. Watch.
Yeah, Alex Pereira is a dog right now, huh? He doesn't care. He'll be like, gotta drop weight, gotta gain weight. Like,
Hey, what I gotta do? Let's get it. Like, goddamn.
Hard. So yeah, disappointed. What's your final word, final thought about that?
I don't think I was expecting too much of Izzy. I called it. I said it was gonna be in the 4th round that the fight was gonna end. So
yeah, you did say that a bunch of times. Oh, and Dave and Buster's Fix Your AC. Jesus. Luckily, we had that makeshift AC vent next to our table, but man,
yeah, dude, we were sweating. Sheesh. But I mean, that whole card was kind of that was like the energy of the whole card.
Kind of, yeah. Yo, that Gamrot and the Hooker fight.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed watching that fight.
That
was exciting. That was exciting to watch. So other than that, you already know what we're gonna jump into. Let's jump into some new music. Okay, so before we jump into these 2 album / mixtapes that came out, have you heard either of these 2?
Nope.
Okay. So Post Malone released the album called F1 Trillion. So I heard the album. I can't give a proper rating because I don't really care too much for country music.
Wait, why?
That literally the entire album was country.
Like how country? Like hella country, or
no,
kind of like hip hoppy country? Kind of like Beyonce's country. Remember?
Like he literally had a feature on every song, and it was, dude, any country people you could think of, like Luke Combs, Tim McGraw, I think, Jelly Roll, dude, legit. This album was country, and I'll show you. This was borderline knee slapper, but he kept it a little bit Post Malone, just a little bit
with the singing.
But I was listening to him. I was trying to find one that maybe I like the beat to.
Right.
Even that Jelly Roll one, I was like, okay, this might be the one that I mess with, because Jelly Roll was kind of pushing towards hip hop rappy a little bit. Nah, I think he knew what he was making with this country album.
So with the aspect of having the perspective of it having it being a country album,
I mean,
how do you rate it with that point?
I would say it sounded like quality. If somebody likes country music, I think this might be something to dabble into.
I don't think it wouldn't
not
be quality, right? If you're having that many features, that many big names, I kind of feel like you.
Yeah, so I think this album had a big budget. Yeah, it just literally they made this album in the country category.
Wait, were you expecting something else?
No.
Oh.
No, I had known already that this was going to be a country album. But I listened to it because it's posty.
No boppers in there? You didn't come on, you just got to be a couple of country songs.
No, I know it seems like I'm just over here completely not giving it a chance, but I listened to it and I didn't really find nothing. Yeah, I mean, not really for me. Probably, that that Hood Poet album by Polo G we talked about? How kind of
a completely different vibe.
I know, but you know how we heard it,
yeah.
And then it was okay, probably never gonna hear this again.
I get you.
So
just a one time
same
listen.
vibe, but it was same conclusion, but it was a country album, and it was pretty good. It was quality, But for me, it was probably never gonna hear this again.
Feel that.
What I mean?
I'm gonna have to turn it on and listen to it a couple times.
I'm gonna have to show you because
I listen to it. I like post. Yeah, I like post.
So I mean that's why I even gave it the chance. But so what's your hype level? Because you didn't hear it, right? So what's like your hype level?
You know what music I'm listening to right now?
Like rock, 3 Days Grace, stuff like that.
Yeah, stuff like that, like bands, rock.
So
rock.
what? So how does that add to your conclusion of
I think that I might be a little bit more open to
country?
receiving that album. So I'll give it a check.
And just so you know, this isn't like no Nickelback either.
Nickelback goes off though. I don't care what nobody say, bro. There's a couple songs.
I'm telling you, this is like really country,
Sometime Nickelback.
not really poppy, like pop music. I would even say Nickelback kind of like leans pop a little bit because they're really catchy. Like I don't know, you know what I mean? They kind of tend to the wider audience a little bit.
I'm falling.
No, like, you know that song, you see me standing in line, the cup you never get in. It's like the bottom of the night, and you know what I mean?
Get that. Yeah,
So to me, that's country music, right? But to
right.
me, in a kind of way, it almost attacks a little bit of that pop scene.
So is it
You know
like
what I mean?
more of like the beat that
This-
they're working with? So this is more of like the...
It's the beats.
Yeah.
I almost got like, man, this is really dramatic, but I almost got like kind of like a folk vibe from it.
A folk?
Yeah, like
Not the folk.
I don't even know how to describe that. That's just the word that came to me.
Folklore. Like, I'm dead.
Yeah, that's exactly where I thought of the word from. So yeah, I don't know. Like
Right.
I'm excited. Maybe next week Zay will give you an update. But it might be a quick update. I don't know if he'll hear 2 songs and be like, "Oh, I get it. All right."
I'm dead. Now I like different music right now, other than like hip hop and rap.
So
Other than just
one out
like-
of 10, 10 being really hype. What's your rating? Your hype level for that?
5.
Okay, that's good.
Right in the
so-
middle.
So the other album mixtape that came out was YG's mixtape called Just Red Up. I don't know if you pronounce that read up or red up because there's like a
I
little.
think it's read up, like just like read
Yeah,
up.
but his whole thing is like red.
Who?
His whole like
No, but that's
brand.
just like a double entendre. Like just read up.
A re-up
Yeah.
kind of thing, but
Just
like
read
red.
up, but
I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
So, did you hear this?
No.
Okay, so what is your overall opinion, real quick, about YG before I jump into that?
There's like a handful of songs I like.
Okay, that's cool. So, I mean, when he releases something, it's obviously not like, oh, I gotta hear it, right?
Right.
So, all right, I'll just give you my kind of spiel on this one.
You like YG? YG 400.
No, I do. I really do like him, but it's
Yeah.
not like a Vince Staples kind of like. You know what I mean?
Ah,
No,
yeah.
that's not like a Logic kind of like.
Yeah, I know. I feel
You know what I
like-
mean? I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna stop what I'm doing and play this album. You know what I mean?
Wait, so how'd you hear this one?
Because I
Stop
have
what
to talk
you're
about it
doing.
on the pod.
Yes.
No, it's
I know,
homework.
just saying.
Okay, so this is cool, and this might be a cool take, but YG's album Just Read Up, Read Up, however you want to go about that. I'm just gonna take this next moment and thank YG for staying true to himself
Oh, hard.
and not trying to like please this wider audience to try to gain this more fame.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, like this is a mixtape. It's clear. It's a mixtape. When you start listening to these songs on this album, you know what it's about. He's not trying to fake you on anything. He's not trying to be hype. He is YG putting together a mixtape that he knows people are gonna play these
So what
songs
type of vibe is
at a
this
party.
album?
This is the stuff you put on in the background at a party. You know what I'm saying? But this is not the kind of stuff where, oh, Drake is featured on that, and then no, this isn't that at all. This is a mixtape.
So is it like chill? Is it kind of hype? Is it like give the vibe? Like what's the vibe? What we feeling?
Okay, so I don't know the exact year, but let me put this into perspective. Just Read Up 2. Oh, I forgot. This is Just Read Up 3. I messed up. But Just Read Up 2 came out, if I remember correctly, in 2013. So this is kind of the follow-up to that mixtape This was his. So Just Read Up 2 was his his second official album that he distributed. If you go to the streaming services, all the way at the bottom, you got the first release, and then you got Read Up 2. So I just say that to basically add some context to say this. He threw it back, not like that. he threw it back to 2013. This is a sequel mixtape, right, to Just Read Up 2. And he stayed true to the sound. Right. He didn't try to divert. He didn't try to do this whole innovating thing.
He just stuck to what he knew.
I'm telling you, when you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, this is YG. You know what I mean? And you don't get that that.
Is he doing something different here?
Oh, this is the hit right here, and then where's that other hit with that other feature and Drake, and you know what I mean? No, this is cool. He stayed true.
So
to
what's
himself.
your rating on?
I'm gonna give
Just
it.
Read Up.
All right, so Just Read Up 3. I'm gonna give it a 7.7 out of 10.
0.7.
Hey, that 0.7, 0.8,
sometimes
that's really that could sway somebody. You know what I mean? So I'm giving it a solid 7.7.
A nice little push.
Yeah. wait, what did I give it? 7.7.
77.
7.77.
See.
So yeah, I would recommend hearing it if you're like a hip hop guy, rap guy. This is something cool just to hear. You know what I mean? I'm definitely gonna go through and replay some of these songs.
So how many songs do we have in that album?
So he has disc 1 and disc 2. There's a total of 19 songs, I think.
Sheesh.
But dude, I'm telling you, it's not like something you're going into looking for the hits. He stayed true to his YG mixtape vibes. This is cool.
For me,
it's just nice.
I like to listen to an album I like to get the element of the album. I don't like to just sit there and skim through it. You know what I mean? There's some that I'll go through and skim through. Do I really want to listen to it or not? All right, let's see if I can find something I like. But something like this, I'd probably just.
It's just nice to hear something that somebody's not trying to they're just being themselves. Remember how we were talking about A$AP Rocky the other day? Remember how he's about to release? And remember we played that song that he has out right now called Hijack? And we're like, yo, he's just got that suave. He's not trying to be somebody else. He's just being free. Yeah, this is just the YG mixtape. And don't confuse it with that album. He called it a mixtape for a reason. You know what I mean? This is just something to give to the streets.
For me, an album,
his fans.
For me, an album and a mixtape is the same thing. It's just different crowds.
No.
A mixtape is gonna please this crowd, and then an album is gonna please this crowd.
So if I could kind of sum it up a little bit, yeah, I get that. But if I could sum it up a little bit, the difference between an album and a mixtape, think of an album as a product that's gonna have TV commercials. It's gonna be on that little stand in Walmart. You know what I'm saying?
So this is the movie, and then the mixtape is the series.
So the mixtape is the thing that comes out on Netflix.
Right, that's a series.
Yeah. Well, I meant a movie that comes out on Netflix. And then think of an album as a movie that drops in theaters. You know what I mean?
So mixtapes suck ass.
Hey, sometimes Netflix be dropping some gems.
I'd be on the HBO
you know
Max though, is it?
Is it? So, so Post Malone album, hear it if you like country. If you're into rap and hip hop, I would advise not listening to it. YG Just Read Up 3. This is really cool to hear. YG is being YG. That's my
Don't go in with no expectations. Just go in and listen to it. If you like the people, just, you know what I'm saying?
All right, so let's get into something real quick. I kind of have, whenever I bring up a topic, this is something that I've thought about, but now I get to talk about it with you guys, kind of bouncing off ideas from Mighty, right? I like asking Mighty questions. I like asking anybody questions, but I trust Mighty's opinion more than y'all's. So then I get value, right? I get value add with asking Mighty something. So we kind of dabbled in this conversation recently, but what do you think, or what's your take on somebody that feels like they don't fit in with their crowd? You know what I'm saying?
I feel, for me, that's just always been like a life thing for me. Like, I've never felt like I've ever fit in anywhere. So when I realized when I was younger that, like, oh, I don't need to fit in to be myself, that's when I really started, like, prospering. So I just feel like whenever you feel like you're not fitting in anywhere, I feel like that's whenever you really need to take a step back and then look at yourself and reevaluate what you like and what you want in life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I feel like that's whenever you have to tailor everything to your needs, to what you like. If not, then you're kind of chasing somebody else with no end goal, you know?
Mm-hmm. The more I get into my industry, like this whole music industry, or I guess that's the broad term of it. I mean more like the rap community or like the hip hop community in Arizona, you know what I mean? Or
right.
More local. I don't know. I just feel like these guys they're like doing stuff that I don't care to do, or I don't want to do, or I don't agree with. You know what I mean?
So, like what would be in the context of you don't agree with?
Okay, well, it could be something as simple as, this is probably a dumb example, but it might be something as simple as, like, they got the guns in the videos and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's just a style of things.
I don't care to do that. Maybe I wasn't raised like that. I don't know if that's part of their culture that they were raised in. I just don't. I don't see myself kind of like surrounding myself with that scene. So there's a lot of like different groups of people. You know, there's the people over here. Other than, okay, let me dive into this real quick. Other than the racial groups, because there's that all over the rap. There's the white dudes, black dudes, Mexican dudes. You know how there's just these little communities, pockets of communities. Like you're probably more familiar with maybe the Hispanic rap scene a little bit, because there's just no. I'm talking about like King Little G. You know what I mean? Like that whole like little group of like Hispanic people.
You know about that better than me.
Probably.
Yeah, you know about that way better than me.
I'm not saying that it's a racial thing. I'm just saying that there's little pockets of rap and
so hip-hop. So you're not saying you don't like whenever they post guns and stuff, like any of those pockets post guns in the videos. You're just saying you're just not like that, to where like, what if we just had like machine gun, like big old machine guns, like, or is it a type of gun that you want, or is it just like you just don't want no guns?
No, it's like the whole like Lefty Gunplay, for example. I'm sure he's a cool dude. I just don't know.
I'm not hating. I'm just
if me and him would really kind of like bounce ideas off each other and like really be collabing. You know, I don't know how he rolls. Like by the looks of it, he's just kind of like really, really. I guess it's gangsta, or what is that? Is that what it is? Like, I don't know. Like, I always see him in videos, like asking people, like, "Oh, where you from?" You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like, "Chill, I'm just trying to get to know you. Like, where you from?" And then I think he says something about him being like a 13 or something. Like he's gangster, like apparently, right?
Like
I don't know what he really is, but
like a tres leches, like a cake.
No, like 13, like 13. But you see what I'm saying? Like, the way I operate in my life, I don't know if I would mesh well with like more of that gangsta, or even more of like, you know those kids in high school, back in high school, even now, but like the gothic kids. I was kicking it with them. I ain't gonna lie. Well, yeah, kicking it with everybody. Like, but do you see how you said kicking it with them? They're a different breed.
He did call me out.
like you just admitted in your own language that they're kind of a group of people.
No, well, right? You're specifying pockets, and I was specifying that they're
yeah. So pocket. We could talk to them, we could be cool with them, but when it comes down to being in that group, I don't think.
So what you're saying is you're not fitting yourself in. You're not putting yourself into their style to like, because that's not your style. That's not where you. Here, like, flourish.
If I could simplify it, I would say this. So let's make this example high school, okay?
Okay.
I'm in the lunchroom,
right?
And I don't feel like any of these kids at all these different tables, I'm talking gothic kids, I'm talking the nerds, I'm talking the ghetto kids.
Chess,
yeah.
all this, all that. Yeah.
I don't feel like I truly belong in any of those groups. That doesn't mean I'm not cool with those people.
Right.
I talk to everybody.
It's like, where's your passion? Like,
But what I'm saying is I just don't feel like I belong there in any of the groups.
Right.
I can't categorize myself.
yeah, so the best way, you gotta
What was
make
that?
your own group.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I am in my own group
Right.
because of that.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like it just sucks sometimes because a lot of the rap community, a lot of the hip hop community, they're in these pockets. You know what I mean? And they're doing some stuff, and like it would be cool to like have that camaraderie. You know what I mean? Like bounce ideas off
would be
each
cool.
other, work together. Yo, let's support, help each other out. What are you doing? What am I doing? You know what I mean?
But that's kind of like asking for a lottery ticket, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, and to add on to that, it doesn't help that in the rap community, that everybody's trying to be the best. Everybody got the biggest ego in the world. So, like, you know what I mean? You can't just...
Don't talk to me, double.
If you start messing with one of these pockets of people, then all of a sudden you're kind of closing yourself off to these other pockets of people.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
In a kind of way. Like, almost kind of like how, you know, you fight out of your AZ Dragons gym. Almost kind of how if you fought at a different gym, they would expect you to be representing their gym. You know what I mean? So then now what happens to coach? That's why you don't do it, because you got your people, you got your coach. You know what I mean? Right or no?
It's a little different, but I wouldn't... Like, I get what you mean. Like
I just brought Lefty Gunplay because he's like a extreme example of somebody that's completely different than me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like he was locked up. He's out now. Now he's got that whole, you know, gangsta. He's gonna go get his money. You know, tats on his face. You know, whatever.
Don't you want tats on your face?
No, not on my face.
Oh. The neck. Just the neck.
Yeah, I like some coming out of my neck, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's clear. Like it's
I'm just curious.
clear difference. My whole career, my whole rap thing doesn't.
Yeah.
He's going down a whole nother path.
Well,
You
yeah.
know?
Well, you're not like a country singer. Like, they're going down a whole different path. Like, he's whatever in genre he's in, and he's going down that path. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not EDM music, so and they're going down a whole different path. Like, you know what I mean?
So what I want to get down to with this conversation is like what kind of advice could we give, or what kind of conversation could we have to help
Somebody who isn't fitting
like
in.
somebody who feels like they're an outsider. You know what I mean?
I'd have to say, you gotta just stop trying to fit anywhere. Like, you're not a Swiss Army knife. Like, you gotta find like what meat you can cut better. What knife are you? You know what I mean?
So let's say the UFC was like your end goal, right? This, for example. And let's just say for some reason you just do not get along with the promoters or something. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just like they're completely different than you. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Do you just submit and kind of do whatever you got to do to get in there? Or do you stand your ground and be like, you know what? I think it's kind of different. I think I'm going to go the route of like PFL or
Or like
something.
One FC or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. Like, what's the one? The other one that's like really big. It's just as big as like UFC.
One fighting championship.
Is that the one? No. So yeah, like, what do you think about that?
You're talking about like Bellator?
Maybe, yeah. But I'm just trying to get personal and ask
Bellator
you,
Rabbano.
what are your options and how do you feel about the fact that, okay, UFC ain't what I thought it was, and that you don't want to be a kind of a part of that association?
Well, if I got a contract,
You know what I
I'll
mean?
finish out my contract and then I would sign somewhere else if that was the case. But at the end of the day, you're still in a spotlight to where you got to show where.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you either got to stay there or not. I'm just saying the feeling of feeling like you don't belong. So you could be fighting there, cool. But I'm talking about that feeling of like, this isn't what I thought it was. These people really aren't how I thought they would be, and I just don't feel like I belong right here.
I know, but sometimes that's just life. Like, sometimes you'll get to a certain point in your life, and you think, like, you'll build it so much up in your head, and then when you get there, you realize that it's kind of like smoke and mirrors.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's what I want to dive into.
So I would say, I mean, for the most part, I think whenever people don't feel like they belong, I feel like they've never really built a structure of like boundaries and like certain like essential goals that they need to chase after. For me, like I didn't have that for the longest time, and I felt lost and I didn't know what to do or where to go until I really started honing down on myself and what I enjoy, what I don't enjoy. I really started to kind of like pay attention to what I want to be a part of and what I want to contribute towards. And then that's when I really started to kind of like close in on my pathway of like where I feel like I fit.
Yeah. I think it's kind of weird that I've been feeling this way, but I think I'm at a good place in my life or my career because it's not swaying me in any kind of way. I just realize that I am in a different category. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here like oh well, what am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? These people don't really invite me or fit me into their like little pocket, right? So now, okay, well, I'm lost now. You know, I'm exiled. You know what I mean? No, that's not how I feel.
I'm gonna have fun in exile. Like, yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's the optimistic way to look at it. But the actual like positive way to look at it is like that you do just belong in your own group.
Yeah, exile.
Yeah. So how do you know where your group is? How do you find those people?
Why do you need a group? Like, you got to be you until other people follow you. Until other people want to be a part of you and what you're doing. So if you're not doing a part of anything,
so there isn't necessarily a group.
No,
like you can be the first one to like create this group.
Right?
Is that like what you mean?
You got to trailblaze that. If you can't find anyone else to kind of satisfy your needs in the lane that you want to be in, then you have to be the one.
Create a different flavor.
You have to. I do that with all my food. I mix everything. I want to try to find a new something. Like, you know what I mean?
Hopefully this like past maybe 10 minutes hasn't been too confusing, but I've been trying to like come up with the answer and make it clear. And like you too, you know what I mean? Like hopefully us like kind of throwing these ideas back and forth isn't confusing.
I don't think it will. Shit, even if it is, stay in your lane. No,
But no, I think we did kind of come to a good like one sentence quote on that real quick. It's like, if you don't feel like you fit in, create your own flavor.
Create your own lane.
And that's kind of exciting, isn't it? Cool. I feel like it's kind of like motivating.
It's really scary though. Like, for a lot of people, it's really scary to like trailblaze your own path, because like you want to have like a tutorial. Like, how do I do this? How do I get this done? What's the proper steps of this and that? Like,
you know what's kind of cool about you saying it's kind of scary? Like, it could make someone feel lost. I got one thing to say about that, and I heard this recently somewhere. But it's okay to feel lost.
Yeah. Because
it just means you're somewhere you've never been before.
About to do something you've never done before.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. And that's what you want.
Right.
If you're out there trying to be an artist, trying to be a fighter, or whatever it is, entrepreneur, whatever. If you're in a comfortable spot and you know exactly where you are,
feel that.
More power to you. But I think it takes a lot of being lost to get found.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of like the epiphanies I get come from, because I feel like I now thinking back, I knew where I was the entire time. But if I try to put myself in the mind state of like 10 years ago, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like we have like a vague idea, and that vague idea for us in our youth is like enough for us to run off. But like the older we get, the more responsibility we take on. So now we have to, instead of just going with it, we have to take a step back and being like, let me really look at everything before I make this action. And sometimes that little stutter step could be a big downfall, or it could just be a slingshot and just let us go.
But yeah, I'm found.
That's cool. How do you feel now? I remember you was dealing with an anxiety and stuff. Like, how do you feel now? You feel like less and
I
less
feel
of
a
it?
little bit better because I guess if you want to use that as an example, I guess that was an example of being lost
Right.
for a second.
That's a side effect.
Because I didn't know how to take spending so much money and still being okay. You know what I'm saying? It would give me anxiety swiping the damn card. You know
My
what I mean?
boy Rich. Yes. No, but I feel you.
But like,
Yeah.
take me back 8, 7 years ago, I didn't have my funds right, and spending $20 on something was
That was a big
detrimental.
deal. Yeah, it was
like
a big
this,
deal.
that would be the difference between paying my car or not on time.
Yeah,
maybe
feel that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like
It
that
was so
past
tight.
trauma was just kind of like, it's like post-traumatic stress kind of thing.
I would have to say it's trauma from dealing with so much, like you just said, stress in that moment that you've accumulated
Like getting
so
scared
much,
for no reason. It's
right,
like,
right. You've accumulated so much stress and anxiety in that moment that you just don't know. So now that whenever you're older and you're structured and you've done that, it's just now of like, I should be scared of that, but I'm not.
I can't say it still doesn't give me a little bit of stress, but
Yeah,
I don't let it like get like really build up and bother me anymore. It's like, oh, okay, you spent $70 at Dave and Buster's last night on fucking wings and a nacho thing, and you know,
And sweat.
oh well, okay, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spent that money, cool, like stressed me out a little bit when I swiped the card, but now we're here, you know.
You've put yourself in a situation to where you were able to do that comfortably, though. The only reason why you're not comfortable is because you're not comfortable spending like that.
I'm just not
randomly.
comfortable in my head.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say. So now that you're structured and now that you have your stuff right and your things aligned to be successful in your lane, now it's just, I think that you don't know how to deal with that because now you're lost in the sauce.
You know what's
Like,
funny?
Now you're lost.
You know what's funny? I'm a very value add kind of person.
What do you mean?
And what I mean is, if I go to it's so freaking weird. If I go to One Stop Nutrition and I buy us 2 shakes, $17, right? Like, oh, okay, this is hard. Like, this is like a meal replacement almost.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, oh, whatever, you know, $17. If I go to the dollar store and I'm pushing like $15 to $20, I'm like, what am I buying here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
There's a bunch of just random crap.
I don't know. I was just trying to give that example of like that $17, right? It's not the same everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm spending $17 at the mall, that's like one item.
You know,
Maybe,
you know
you
that
know?
just reminded me of?
What?
You know that picture of like it's just like a dope like Lamborghini. It's all super dusty and like nasty and grimy. It's in like this country backyard.
Like
and
in
it's just,
Dubai, and there's just a junkyard of like nice cars.
well, that
like
too.
that kind of
But
thing?
it's just saying that like you're never gonna have like your full value if you're not in the right environment.
Oh, I get what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I wouldn't spend $100,000 on that car, but if it was clean, okay, how much is that one? Like, is that what you mean?
More of like a Lamborghini isn't gonna be ideal for the forest. Like you'd want a Jeep. You know what I mean? So don't be somewhere where you're not
Oh,
valued.
okay, I see what you mean.
You get what I'm saying?
I think even we went on a tangent, but I think even that you could kind of add to that don't fit in aspect. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you are a value, but maybe just not to this group.
I'm a monster truck in a China shop. You know what I mean? I don't belong. But somewhere there's dunes and cars I need to be wrecking. And I can't right now because I'm kind of turning in a bunch of glasses around me. And I'm trying not to break it. But eventually I'm going to get my little doorway and I'm going to get to my dunes.
Before I like top this conversation, I have like a good couple sentences. Did you want to add to this?
Multiply.
I don't know. I'm lost with that one. I'm sorry. Let me just give you my couple sentences. So, what I'm grabbing from this conversation,
Right.
is that we all as individuals have value,
Yeah.
right? And don't for one second think that just because you don't fit into a certain clique or group of people, that all of a sudden your value is gone.
Right.
Right? Either find yourself the group that you fit into or create your own group. Like we were talking about, sometimes you got to make your own flavor.
Right.
How do we feel about that?
I feel like that's pretty good.
Is that pretty good?
Yeah.
And I hope y'all made it through that last 15 minutes, because not gonna lie, it's like
We're figuring it out.
yeah, like we're here throwing, like I was saying, throwing these ideas. So
We don't know everything, but it
So-
feels good to figure some shit out.
I think I'm gonna start making like a disclaimer of like, yo, by the way, if you listen to anything after this point, it might be some just worth
You're in a rough
figuring it
patch.
out. Like you're in the the
brainstorm.
the meeting. Yeah, you're in the brainstorm meeting, in that meeting where everybody's taking notes and trying to figure this shit out.
You know, it's that bubble graph.
So welcome to the workshop.
Is that what it's called? The bubble graph?
I think something like that.
Something like that.
Yo, y'all ain't gonna use high school after high school, so don't worry about it.
Just a tad bit of high school.
Hey, you know what? I kind of really liked that. We'll see if that continues, but I kind of liked having this mental workshop. You know what I'm saying?
Mental workshop.
Instead of like having all the answers. You know what I mean? Like trying to
I don't
just
have no answer. Nothing.
give advice. I kind of liked
Figuring
getting
it
a
out.
little jumboed up in there and kind of having an epiphany afterwards. You know what I mean? I think,
Untangling the knot.
yeah, that was cool too. Yeah, I think mental workshop sounds cooler though, but
Wow.
but yeah. So
Oh, but I like that. That's cool.
just to finish this off, I got a question for you.
I got an answer.
Do you feel like you have a group or do you feel like you've had to create your own flavor? And I'm talking about you specifically.
I wouldn't be nowhere I am today if I didn't allow myself to just fully be myself.
So
wherever
you're
I'm
your
at.
own flavor.
Yeah.
And then do you ever feel like you can't find anybody else that's a similar flavor? You know what I mean?
99.9% of the time.
So there you go. And how does that make you feel?
How does caramel feel?
Karma?
Yeah. How does caramel feel? How does chocolate feel? How does strawberry feel? Like they
I
just...
thought you said karma.
I'm dead.
So you're saying like all these other flavors?
Yeah, like how do they feel? They just feel how they're supposed to feel because that's just what they are. Like, you know what I mean? I feel how I'm supposed to feel because this is just who I am. I'm only doing what just feels right. Whatever doesn't feel right, I stick away from.
And then, where are you mentally, and how does that make you feel mentally? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know
'cause
in
there's-
Elden
there-
Ring where you're always looking for, like, in the map and you're going through the map and you can't see nothing because you never picked up the map?
The map
If you haven't
piece.
played an Elden Ring, it's a big open thing and it closes you off unless you pick up the little map piece and then it opens up the area for you to actually see whenever you press the map.
You have to get an item to unlock the map,
Right.
basically.
And so now it just feels like in life I'm just running around collecting all those little maps. So now I'm seeing what this part of life does, what this part of life does, what that part of life does. Like, you know what I mean? So right now I feel very structured and very confident in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I know that you can always improve and do things better, which that's the goal. But at the end of the day, what's better than what's better than your end goal? What would be the one thing that's better than your end goal? It's consistency. So as long as I know to
Man,
stay
I was going to give you a
consistent,
good answer.
go.
Ask the question one more time. That way
What
I
is
get
better than your end goal?
the only thing better than your end goal is what comes afterwards. Boom! I just gave you such a great answer. For me, I feel like I have been my own flavor for the longest time. Whether or not that brings me down, makes me happy, whatever, I've grown and I've realized that it's a good thing. So I mean, I'm at a good spot now.
Right.
But before, I used to feel like Like, let's just go back 2013.
Pressure.
2013 when I made my own album. Right? I started making my first album 2015, the first album came out.
Right.
That was a very, even going into my second album, those 2 State of Happiness albums, that was a very like critical part in my life. Like I felt like I didn't belong in the industry. Like, you know what I mean? I don't.
You know what's really cool about all that though?
What?
No matter what, no matter how you felt, you still did what you were supposed to do, and now you have something to look back on, commemorating that moment in your life. Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty cool. So, like, at the end of the day, as long as you stick to doing yourself to the max amount of happiness that you think that you can find, I think that's what you should always chase.
Mm-hmm. And I'm making it sound easy, like, oh, I got my own flavor and all this stuff. But I feel like if you really think about it, if we're talking about the whole music industry,
I'm a potato.
I feel like I've been trying to work at this flavor for the past 10 years. You know what I mean? And I've only realized recently,
taking out a little bit of salt, putting in a little bit of more sugar, a little bit of more dye.
And I've only realized recently that it's a good thing, like I was saying.
It's a great thing.
I used just to last little just kind of idea to get you thinking.
I don't even think you like fitting in, to be honest.
I don't.
No, to be like complete, like not even like some funny or weird stuff, but I genuinely think that you enjoy like just being you. I think that's what's really cool.
I do not like just doing what everybody else likes.
Right.
I don't know if that's just me being an egotistical like moron or
no.
You know what I mean though?
No, I totally get what you mean.
Like, think about
everybody else is stupid.
Everybody's doing this cool stuff.
Right.
Let's just bring up jumping off a cliff right at the water. Like, I don't care to do that.
So you have severe lack of FOMO. Severe lack of FOMO.
What is that, real quick?
Fear of missing out. You have no fear of missing out.
Oh, I don't give a crap.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
I've already experienced it by watching Jose jump off the cliff. He loves doing it. Cool.
I
We'll
love
do
the
a
cliffs.
front flip, whatever. I am getting
like
so
this.
much more joy watching him do it than I will ever. Like you know
That's
when
funny.
you know when people say do it for both of us or something like that. Like, literally, this is so great that he's as hyper as he is and he loves doing a bunch of shit because I don't care to do it.
Severe lack of FOMO because you have somebody else that can satisfy that lane.
You enable that.
Right. I'm weak. But you, like, on the vice versa, you get me on the, like, what is it like to just, like, kind of, like, chill on the sideline, like, see from that perspective? Because, like, at the end of the day, you get a perspective that I don't get, too. You know what I mean?
I mean, just that audience view of it, I guess, right?
Yeah, but that's a lot of knowledge. Like, the perspective of that view, that's a lot of knowledge itself. Because you can learn a lot from that view. And I think
I
that's
will
really
live
cool.
life just fine knowing that I
That's true.
seen him, what he got out of it, than me doing it
Go
myself.
shooting today?
I don't know. That's not like my number one thing on my list.
Nothing ever is. FOMO.
I'm kind of like, honestly, what I'm really excited about is like eating breakfast and then
Does that sound good?
playing Rocket League.
Plays Elden
No, I don't know. I guess we just like figured it out. I have a severe case of FOMO. What the hell is FOMO again?
Fear of missing out. FOMO. FOMO.
Oh wait, so I have a
an
severe
acronym.
case of non-FOMO, then, right? Because I don't care about missing out.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Awesome. Bliss sits on the sidelines and doesn't do shit.
Oh my god. NMO. Not missing out.
All right, y'all. So I think y'all just witnessed the creation of probably some sort of workshop segment that I really enjoyed. I think getting more into breaking things down and really like
Figuring it out.
brainstorming
Yeah.
might be what I'm more interested in doing rather than just coming here and being like, okay, we need to talk about motivation. Let's see what we could talk about to motivate or give epiphanies to the audience. You know what I mean? So like,
Y'all gonna be
I mean,
motivated or
it'll
not?
still happen. Like, we're gonna get epiphanies together, but this is more of like the workshop. You know what I'm saying?
I like that mental workshop. That's hard.
It's pretty cool.
That's
huh?
pretty cool.
It's not bad. All right, y'all. So we're gonna see you next week for episode 32 of the Underrated AF podcast. If you made it to the end of this, do us a big favor and share this. That'd be cool. One day we're just getting thousands and thousands of views on everything.
That would be cool.
You know, people hitting us up. Oh, thanks, man. I mean, I kind of
It would be cool to get a lot of feedback of like things that people want to hear about. Like, what if they ask questions and then from those questions being asked, we brought them on the podcast and then asked ourselves those questions and then answered them.
Oh,
live.
yeah, I get what you mean.
I think that would.
I would even want to hear the arguments about maybe the album.
Yo, that would be cool.
Like, I want to know what
Yeah.
you guys think.
That would be cool.
But
We do get that, but just not like.
it's just on a
substantial
lower
amount. Yeah.
scale.
Which is still cool though. Like, at the end of the
But
day.
our TikTok's kind of doing pretty good.
Shut somebody.
You know, we've been really consistent, and I think TikTok's kind of rewarding us for it. But yeah, hopefully we can
Shout out
continue
TikTok.
to grow this conversation. I would be cool just to have a conversation. We don't take things personal. If you got some shit to talk, let's talk that shit.
Right.
Let's put it out. Spread that shit all out onto the table and see what it's made of.
Yeah, it's nothing. None of y'all can say to me that I would take personal. Just talk to me about whatever y'all want to talk about, and then we can.
Yo,
just go
somebody
from there.
commented on a TikTok video. I think it was like a couple days ago, and it was just in quotations. It said, "Hey, bro, let's start a podcast."
Hard.
And then I was just looking at it like, why is this dude like hating like that? And
That's life.
I just came up with
It's
the
cool.
best.
It's cool to have haters. That's how you know you're doing it right.
Well, I gave him such a factual response that it was so cool.
That is true.
And all I told him was, it was like, yo, this is facts. This is exactly how it went.
Word for word.
I don't know. It was just cool. He didn't even respond back. That's how cool we are.
I don't give a damn if I'm cool or not. I'm doing me, baby. I got my own flavor. Which shit's so bad.
But respond.
That
I
was
want to
crazy
have a
timing.
conversation. Let's talk
That too.
about
That too.
bros that just want to get on a pod and start a podcast.
Yeah, bro. What
Bro.
if you want to start a podcast? I would listen to it, bro.
Dude, I saw the A-bro version of you at Dave & Buster's yesterday.
Way. Hey, bro.
A-bro. All right, y'all. We'll see you later. Peace.